What's up, everyone? Happy Friday. Here for our weekly installment of our reading roundup. My team and I at Orchid Group at Keller Williams Realty at the Lakes, we read a book together and come together with our thoughts and do this virtual book club on social media. And this all came about because I really wanted to be a part of a book club and couldn't seem to find the time or ability to commit to joining one in person. And I thought, everything else is online these days. Why not just do a book club online as well? So this is hopefully to get in touch and engage with people that also are interested in reading and wanting to learn other people's takeaways and share their takeaways and stuff like that, grow together, become better together. And so feel free to join in on this book club with us. We do this every Friday on Facebook Live and on social media, other platforms. So we're reading this book called The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, and we're on chapter 6 this week studying it. And this is a super easy read, y'all. It's a short book. It's fun to read. The author is entertaining. He's very enlightening. It's not too deep of stuff. I know some people are worried about getting involved into different books that might be a little philosophical because of, worrying about them being too hardcore or strict about this, that, or the other. This is not that kind of book. This is a book about customizing your mornings to include and incorporate certain things that have been scientifically proven to enhance your life. And who wouldn't want to do that, right? So The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, the concept behind it is that if you wake up earlier and dedicate time strictly to yourself, free of work distractions, family distractions, chores distractions, any distractions, it's literally time dedicated just to yourself. It not only vamps you up and gives you a great start for the day, but it completely changes and enhances your life. I've been doing Miracle Morning now for several years, and it's so ingrained in me now that I don't even think twice about it. And the early wake-up call is such a part of my life that it's really no big deal now. And I was very skeptical about this whole idea when I first heard of the book and started reading it. Not necessarily against it, but I was just like, I don't know if this is going to work like how he says it is going to. And I can tell you, I am living proof that it does. It works, guys. Okay, so this whole concept of waking up earlier, I know you're probably already like, what is this all about? But the reason behind it is that we typically set our alarm clocks for the last minute possible of sleep we can get that will allow us to get ready for our day in as little time as possible. Ends up being a rushed around kind of morning, right? And ends up not incorporating anything that helps ourselves. We're very robotic in taking care of things and taking care of others that we forget to take care of ourselves. So chapter 6, the author Hal Elrod gives us 6 ways that we can change our mornings in whatever time frame we're able to do. So whether that's an hour, whether that's 30 minutes, it doesn't matter. Those 6 things, we'll start from the top. Silence. He says that silence is such a key factor in calming our minds and starting our day in a calm state of mind rather than stressed out. How many times have you woken up and been like, oh my God, what is today going to bring? Like, what's going on in my schedule today? Stuff like that. And you're already stressed, like the first thing that you do when you wake up. Like, what a horrible way to start your day. So silence, whether that's praying or meditating or literally just being in silence by yourself, key. The next thing he says is self-affirmations. So we have no problem giving compliments out to everyone else, but what happens is we don't give ourselves those positive affirmations. We think it's weird, or we think it's silly, or we say what we think we are, but then we take it back because it feels weird to be praising ourselves in a sense. So these affirmations are things that you like about yourself, things that you're good at, things that you think are your talents, things also that you want to have in the future. And the point is you're saying this in your mind over and over and over again every morning, that eventually your mind just starts believing it and you start becoming it then. You've heard of different things about like what you think you become. That's the whole premise behind self-affirmations. So then he takes those self-affirmations a step further into visualizations. So not only do you need to be telling yourself what you like about yourself or what you're good at, you need to be seeing it in your mind, because eventually what you see will start to become your reality. He says in the book that your mind doesn't really know the difference between a visualization and actuality, which I thought was really interesting. He says if you see it in your mind, it's going to have the same impact as when you see it in actuality. So I thought that was really cool. So I've started to, when I do my affirmations in the morning, really visualize them. And whether I'm saying, I'm happy or I'm healthy or whatever, there's not like a big complex background that these visualizations are behind or in front of. It's simply just whatever that looks like, it doesn't matter, but really visualizing it and really feeling it. Exercise, it's got to be a part of our days, y'all. I know we're probably rolling our eyes at that because that seems to be one of the hardest things for people to do in the morning, or just in general. And yet, have you ever, after an exercise, said to yourself, man, I really wish I didn't do that? No. Even if you, I've literally sprained my ankles running, this, that, and the other, but I was still but I got my run in. And then I was disappointed that I couldn't get my run in on a different day, So there are very, very few times where you find yourself regretful of exercising. So there's something to be said about that. In the moment, like getting ready to exercise, it might be dragging your feet, or it might seem like something that's easy to pass and you don't want to do. And yet, after your exercise, think about it. We've all exercised, even if it's not a part of your consistent routine. Everyone's exercised before. Don't you just feel so great after that? Like you feel like you gave your body something it really needed, something your doctor tells you need, something health professionals tell you need, whatever. So he says that this needs to become an everyday thing in our morning, an everyday part of our routine. The next thing he talks about is reading. So in the morning, he recommends reading books on self-help because we're starting our day. We want to vamp up our mindsets. We want to be in a good self-esteem kind of feeling. And the best way to do that is to read self-help books. So these comes in all shapes and sizes, and you can read whatever ones you want. It doesn't matter. There are some that are really hardcore. Some are a little bit less intense. Some that are about, specific things that you want to become better at, like praying or, business or exercising or whatever. There's all different kinds of books that you can get into because of that. But reading it goes into the being able to visualize yourself doing it, becoming more comfortable with doing something because you're reading, you're educating yourself about it. And then last but not least, journaling. So the journaling takes its own spin however you want it to take. Me personally, I journal about gratitude. I used to journal about what my day the day before was, and then I started doing what my day ahead was going to look like. And I felt like the gratitude concept, when someone told me about how they journal with gratitude, I was like, you know what, that's perfect, because I think whenever we come into hard times, we find ourselves looking towards the good things in our life to kind of bounce us back into being happy again. And so it kind of became something that I was thinking about, if you are continuously conditioning your mind to think positive, when those events happen in our lives that throw us a curveball, that don't go as planned, that bring obstacles and struggles and stuff like that, when those things come our way, if we're naturally so inclined to think about what we're grateful for, I can't help but wonder if that's going to naturally help us bounce back even quicker. And I don't know about y'all, but if I'm going through a tough time, I want to bounce back to my happy self as quickly as possible. So by conditioning our minds every morning to think about something we're grateful for, it's like your mind naturally is going to every day find something that it's grateful for. And even in those tough times, it will also still naturally do that. And before you know it, you're back to normal again. But of course, you can journal about whatever you want. So again, that was silence, self-affirmations, visualizations, exercise, reading, and journaling. Those are the 6 things that this author in chapter 6 of The Miracle Morning says we need to be doing every single morning in order to give ourselves a better start to the day and a better start to our lives. And it's never too late to start something like this. So get a copy of the book, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. If you can't get a copy on your own, let me know and I'll get it for you. And join our book club. Write your comments or write your takeaways from chapter 6, or any chapter for that matter, in the comments below. And if you're not seeing this live, still go ahead and comment your takeaways, and let's grow together as we read this book and share our insights and become better together. Hope y'all have a great Friday, a great weekend, that there's lots of fun on the horizon, and that everybody stays safe with this coronavirus craziness going on. And we will talk to you next week. Bye.